Okay, so here we have, by the way, if you're looking for a designer for graphics and banners, do not hit me up. It's the best I could do. Alright, so I'm going to show you why 4 Esdras, or 2nd Esdras, but Ezra's book 4 is taken out of the 1611 KJV because you can't have people knowing this stuff if you want to propagate your own lies, propaganda, and agenda. So, about 790 BC, the Assyrians, let's just say this is Israel right here. The Assyrians come in, attack, take the northern kingdom into captivity around 790 BC. So, after a while in captivity, the northern tribes are like, forget this mess. They make a new pact with God that they will follow and practice his Torah and his Moedim, his holy days again. They are delivered here. So he grants them that. So he delivers them. They travel through the sea a year and a half. All the while, God stills all these ocean waters for them to be able to reach what the Bible calls Azareth, also in 2nd Esdras, Ezra book 4. So he delivers the northern 10 tribes safely through a calm sea and ocean into Azareth, which is North America as we know today. So since around that 780 BC, something like that, the 10 tribes are all come in here and populate all up through here. And that's, we call the Indians the Native American tribes, but they were really the 10 tribes who came out of captivity, made that pact with God. He delivered them all the way safely here, a year and a half journey to Azareth, the hidden land, where they populated and became known today as the Native American Indians. Now, Columbus, here in Spain, in the 1400s, knows that this area exists because of 2nd Esdras for Ezra. That is in the 1611 KJV. So Columbus, here in Spain, has access to this book, and that's why he knows that there is a new land somewhere over here, Azareth, which he also documents in his papers as going to search for Azareth and reaching it. Now he, knowing that the Bible is the true word of God and having full confidence in it, Columbus also uses that passage in that book when he presents his case to the Queen in Spain, and she grants him his petition, funds him, and sends him on his way. And lo and behold, he finds the new world, Azareth, and he does encounter the natives who are the house of it, the northern 10 tribes. Now later, when the conquistadors would come after the discovery, they would land in Florida. And when the conquistadors landed in Florida, they were greeted by a native tribe who revealed themselves as Reuben. So the conquistadors landed, the Indians went out to greet them and revealed to them, hello, we are of the tribe of Reuben, and made it known to them that it was the Reuben of the Bible. And then they proceeded to tell the conquistadors that Ephraim was on a nearby island out here. So not only did they discover Florida, they ran into and were introduced to Reuben, who also told them of Ephraim being out here. And also, ancient Israel, they branched out before the captivity, the northern 10 tribes. I should have did this first, but the northern 10 tribes were coming out and exploring and going a little further. And they were in this Mediterranean area. And the people of this Mediterranean area became known as Phoenicians. So this became the Phoenicians. The people, or Phoenicia, the people became known as Phoenicians, but actually they were the 10 tribes out here going further, exploring, because they wanted more. They took the lot that was appointed to them from God and said, we want more. So like anybody else, we always want more, right? We always want new. We always want different. We always think we want better or know where better is. So they go out here, start exploring and creating settlements, cities. And the region becomes known as Phoenicia. And then you have the other tribes, they're going here, go here. And they even come up through here and go here. And the tribe of Gad is found, different places around here, and also found in Spain. Now, back in the original language, it doesn't have vowel sounds, so Gad would be Gad, Gadir. So in Spain, you had the cities of Gadir, Gardena, with the word Gad within it, according to the ancient Hebrew, which didn't have vowel sounds. Also up here, you have Britain. which is BRT, Brit, which means covenant. And you see from over here, King Brutus comes from the Troy area after the fall of Troy. He goes to this land, which becomes known as Britain. And yes, the civilization of Troy were Hebrew. King Brutus, BRT, Brit within the name. King of the people who keep the covenant, comes here. And it would become known as Britain. The land of the people who keep the covenant of God, because they were Hebrew. So here you see, and through the tripart alliance that I talked about earlier, you had the kingdom of Israel with their tripart alliance going to the coasts of all these areas, coasts of North America. Remember, there's copper mines here in the United States dating back to 1000 BC. Going all over, stopping at coasts, making settlements, ports. Then they would branch out here. Everywhere they went, they would make settlements, ports, start mining. And one tribe also that was seafaring people of the Hebrews that also went with them and later spread out on their own because of they were part of this 10 tribes up here that got captured by Syria. And they would go to the New World. Also, they would venture out. The tribe of Naphtali. So Naphtali went into Australia, and from there they also branched out to these other islands, Indonesia, Japan, and here the Philippines. So Naphtali was here in Australia, these Asian islands, in the Philippines, Naphtali, and also from here, continuing that way, came here to Hawaii. So you got many Philippines from the house of Naphtali. Also, we know that Philippines were colonized by Spain, France, Europeans, and Europe had many of the tribes. So there is a very good mix of Hebrew in the DNA of Philippine people. And now, also here, Hawaii, And also in Hawaii, they say aloha. This Hawaii, in their original language, is Yawa. Even back to front, the eyes were back then had the Y sound. Yawa. Which means state of Yawa. Aloha is from there's Elohai, which means Elohim is our God. There's two schools of pronouncing this first part. El, be El or Al. So they were using the other dialect, or the other pronunciation becomes Al Lo Alohai, and over time Aloha, Aloha, Loai, Aloha, Aloha. Yah is our God. So now you see how the tribes of Israel are all over the world and all the earth, and the time of the fullness of the Gentiles has come. And what is the fullness? It's just all the nations having or housing the tribes of Israel. Every nation in this world now has remnants of the 10 tribes of Israel within it. The fullness of the nations of the Gentiles has come. Also, I just want to show you just an interesting note for Mexicans, Latin Americans, and Asian Islanders who may have the AZ at the end of their name, like mine is. It's not my maiden name, but my mother's maiden name is Hernandez. You might be a Perez. You may be a Chavez. Marquez. And so on and so forth. But here, this is from this marking or identifier in the name is from Zerah, the son of Judah. They were twins. It was him and Pharez, birthed by Tamar in her affair with Judah. So from the line of Judah, you get Zerah, who settled in Spain. And as we've seen and we know, Spain, Spaniards sailed and settled all over the world. And Zerah was in those companies. And Zerah also went to every region the Spaniards had hold in. In fact, in Spain, one of the main cities is Zaragoza. Zaragoza means Zerah, son of Judah. So Zerah, son of Judah, all through Spain, spreads out through all the world into the Americas. And in America, a lot of the tribes are from Issachar. But again, the Spanish, the conquistadors, Columbus, Zerah also goes to the Americas, to the Pacific Asian, and then you have people with all these names with EZ at the end. In the Hebrew, that EZ, if I spell it and pronounce it right, is something like this. Eretz. So, Eretz Zion means land of Zion, which then further means having this marker at the end of your name where you, from your descendants, or identifying themselves and saying, I am one of the land of Zion. So being a Hernandez, Perez, Chavez, Marquez, other Ezes, Eretz Zion, land of Zion, I am one of the land of Zion. So our marker, we have markers within that we are Hebrew in our DNA, and markers without identifying us even in names. And that's just a few examples of us being identified as Hebrew. Now we know the flesh doesn't save us. We're not saved by our heritage, our bloodline, our lineage, the fact that we are Hebrews. But it is important for the fact to know who we are, where we come from, and what our religion truly is. Thank you.